Hello everyone, I'm Yurka. I'm a doctoral student from University College Dublin, Ireland. Today I'll present you a contribution titled Building a Spatial Participatory Approach to Locate Urban Logistics Facilities by Electing Experts' Opinions, carried out with the collaboration of Nadia Giuffrida from Polytechnic University of Bari and Francesco Pilla from University College Dublin. The aim of this study is to understand more about the opinions of experts on the location of logistics facilities, adopting a participatory method in order to identify suitable locations, right? And we apply the method to the city of Dublin. And as we probably know, urban logistics is an important aspect arising several concerns in the mobility sectors and urban planning. And to mitigate this concern and these aspects of city logistics, different measures can be adopted as well, different methods. And in this presentation, in this study, we want to understand more about two main facilities, which are loading bays and parcel lockers. Loading bays are, of course, physical bay where freight vehicles can stop to perform a delivery. Parcel lockers are automated boxes where users are allowed to collect in a self-service way their parcels. In the scientific literature, different studies have been promoted. However, despite the traditional location allocation methods, most of the time studies focus more on quantitative data, which often are not available to perform spatial models for the identification of logistics facilities in the territory, where a participatory approach can be used to perform an overall analysis, right? In this study, we perform a contribution adapting, starting from four main phases, and we start from a selection of criteria from the literature review, and those criteria are exactly evaluated in a form of weight from experts, right? Once we have a weighting of the criteria, we perform a participatory approach adopting a real-time spatial depth with a panel of privileged experts in order to understand more in what area those facilities could be implemented. And we obtain at the end, of course, a decision on those locations that can be implemented in reality, maybe with policymakers. So we start with the selection of those criteria, administering a survey with Google form, and you can have a look. And of course, we ask information about the participants, the impacts of different dimensions that we can see later of city logistics, and those criteria weighting for loading bays and parcel lockers. So this is the main question regarding the sustainability dimension of city logistics, and what of those three is most affected by city logistics, right? Later, we evaluated the criteria starting from some spatial features, and we divided these features according to three categories, which are topology and geometry of the locations, the demand and accessibility, and traffic and operation. So for loading bays, those are the factors related to the topology and geometry that we want to evaluate. So for example, one-way street or presence of off-street parking facility. These are the factors related to demand and accessibility, and they include the presence of goods receivers, the presence of end consumers, the long distance from the loading bay to the consumer, and these are the factors related to traffic and operation. So the low motorized traffic volume, the high freight traffic volume, the presence of other loading bays. And instead, for parcel lockers, we have a list of factors related to the topology and geometry, such as presence of car parking, presence of bike rack, for example, short distance from post office, and factors related to demand and accessibility, including socio-demographic factors, the proximity to some place, for example, university, the accessibility, which is also important, and as well presence of another parcel logger close and low motorized traffic volume. These are the main results of the survey. 29 experts participated in the survey in a time span of 1 month. These experts include academic people, experts from logistic companies, shippers, municipality experts. With regards to the factors related to the topology and geometry of location for loading bays, you can see here the evaluation of those criteria based on a Likert scale from 1 to 5, and specifically the presence of off-street parking facility is considered really positive as a factor, right? And of course, also high slope is considered really negative. For factors related to traffic and operation for loading bays, specifically low motorized traffic volume are really positive factors for experts. And also, as you can see here from the graphs, high freight traffic volume are considered negative aspects for the loading bays locations, right? These are the results for factors related to the topology and geometry of the location for parcel loggers this time. And of course, presence of car parking is considered by the expert as a very positive factor. Also, the presence of bike rack, and the parcel logger should be placed on a public property. We have, let's say, a positive or neutral score, and of course it should be placed outdoor in the presence of transit stop is considered really a positive, for example. As you can see here, the factor related to demand and accessibility, we have positive scores for parcel lockers close to the university campus, on commercial street, area with high population density. Of course, it's not important for expert area with poor unemployment from the results, and it's important that parcel loggers should be reachable by private car or public transport. From this survey, we obtain also some open comments. Let's say, for example, experts think that these areas need to be out of the city or in the perimeter to put the heavy vehicles out of the urban center with regards to the loading bays, for example. Once we obtain the results from the survey, we build a GIS-based compatibility index both from loading bays and parcel lockers, where the criterion weights are the average weights set according to expert opinions for each criterion of the criteria, right? And as you can see here, this is a spatial representation of the compatibility index based on the criterion, both from not weighted and weighted loading base areas, right? This is based on the previous GIS index. And this is as well done for parcel loggers. As you can see in the main central area, we have more those criteria available. From the previous results, we obtain relevant information. However, simple spatial distribution may not convey the idea of where specific facilities should be implemented. That's why we adopt a real-time spatial Delphi in this platform, real-time geospatial consensus system, where a panel of experts can answer different questions, this time in a spatial way. They can select a specific location where those facilities should be implemented, and they can achieve a spatial convergence of opinions on the territory easily with different spatial analysis tools and real time, thus engaging a sort of cooperation among them, right? So this platform allows us to administer a spatial survey. So that's why we asked to a panel of 30 experts two main questions. Identify proper locations for loading bays in Dublin and identify proper location for parcel loggers in Dublin, taking in their minds the spatial distribution, the spatial maps acquired from the literature review weights, right? So that's how we proceed. So at any time, the expert can answer the two questions by placing one or more points on the map, and they can see an automatic circle appears on the map, right? This circle is exactly the convergence of opinions and is obtained through an algorithm, a statistical algorithm that I show you in the next slide. And the expert can see in real time others' anonymous experts' opinions. They can comment others' feedback at any time. So if we want to obtain a spatial convergence of opinions, we have to consider, as in the traditional version of the Delphi, the 50% of the judgments, because otherwise, if we consider the total distribution of the judgments, it should be only a distribution, easily visualization of the responses, but not a spatial consensus, right? So in that case, we consider a geometric element, which is a circle, that includes 50% of the judgments, right? And when we have the total distribution of n points on a map, in real time we want to find the minimum area A, for example, that includes half of those points in the circle, right? The problem is that there are infinite circles. So we have to impose that constraint that C with I, so the circle must have its center in one of those points, right? So for each question, the algorithm finds an ordered vector A, where A with I is the area that contains 50% of the n judgments, right? Well, these are the main geographical results. As you can see, the points on the map is where experts believe that those facilities should be implemented more, right? And the circle is where the area is more suitable for those implementation. Experts also could place as answer other information such as descriptive points, which are exactly if they want to give us some information without affecting the circle of convergence. And of course, they can draw polygons displaying the area. So this is the heat map analysis, where we can see the priority of those implementation. And we can conclude that Temple Bar and the area near Christchurch Cathedral are the preferred locations for expert for loading-based parcel loggers. At the end, we don't only have geographical results, but also, let's say, spatial consensus results with three main indicators. And as you can see, the initial circle for loading-based and parcel loggers was around 1.40 kilometers square. But at the end, the expert achieved a convergence of opinions with a final circles around 0.15, 0.11, right? So we obtain a strong convergence of opinions among them, and they were engaged really well with different comments and with overall distribution of 65 points, which are exactly the spatial opinion points, right? So since our survey is in real time, we have to understand when to stop the survey. So we perform a time series, considering the stability achieved when the last few points do not significantly change the circle size, right? Around 5% of the endpoints. As you can see, we achieved a convergence of opinions in around 10, 11 days. In conclusion, this novel spatial participatory approach can be useful to identify those facilities in reality and ready for implementation, right? And logistics experts identify relevant information about the location criteria. And the use of weights was important to reduce the number of computable zones. With regards to the real-time spatial Delphi survey, we engaged a good panel of experts. They were able to achieve a strong convergence of opinions on the territory. This could be useful for further studies in the future. Well, in future works, we're trying to understand how to integrate AI with real-time spatial Delphi in order to demonstrate through images the feedback of the expert, the feedback of the spatial judgments in images in order to give to policymakers a new, let's say, vision of how the facility could be implemented in the future. So this could be helpful in the policy evaluation, right? Well, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.